Hey, what's up guys? Devil Gamer here. Welcome to another Fucked Up Fridays. And last week I didn't have one, as you guys know, and there were a lot of questions. Where's Fucked Up Fridays? If you ever see that I don't upload something, immediately go check my Facebook, because there's always a reason posted there. And as a lot of you guys know, I usually record these commentaries a day before I post them, which was the case last week. I got called in for an emergency at work, was unable to record it. So I've learned my lesson. Now I'm going to start recording a few days in advance. But I'm going to continue with this gameplay from the Marine Corps Mondays where I just fuck shit up and get close to a 100 kill round. I'll try to use as much of this gameplay as possible. I can only ramble on for so long. I'm not, I can't make a story last for half an hour for some reason. But this week I'm going to talk a little bit about pellet guns and airsoft guns, because I've had some experience with them and I've done some really fucked up shit with them back in the day. This was about 16, 17, I think. I don't know if you've ever seen these pellet guns, the break barrel ones, where you break open the barrel, load a pellet in, bam, you're good to go. 1,000 feet per second. Me and my buddy decided to get one of these, and it started off all innocent, shooting bottles and cans, just smashing vodka bottles, all kinds of shit. And it slowly progressed to being an asshole with it. It started where we would shoot big cans of bottles and then progress to porta potties, mailboxes, cars, fucking, there goes my cell phone again, cars, fucking houses, windows, animals. Not to people. We didn't progress to people. We had, my buddy lived on the edge of these woods, and then we just set up shit in the woods and would shoot it. Oh my god. Fucking gotta start muting my shit. Hold on. Sorry. Okay, that's the last time that'll ever happen. And we had these group of friends, and their parents were really big into real estate, and actually bought them a house. Like, legit bought him and his brothers a house and said, here, live there. So it was a bunch of guys living in his house that was already fucking paid for and everything. Had a pool. We would go to parties there all the time. So this is where a majority of our assholeness fucking took place. So there was this one party, brought the pellet gun over, we were just shooting targets and cans and stuff, had fireworks going, all kinds of shit. And my buddy had bought this can of thrust, and he's like, dude, we have to make a fire and set it next to it and shoot it with the pellet gun, and it'll make this huge explosion. I was like, oh, fuck yeah. So one of the guys who lived there goes and starts the fire, puts the can of thrust down, and I'd been drinking a lot at this point in time. And so I see the fire go, I automatically had the can in my sights, pulled the trigger, and boom, this huge fireball goes off, engulfs the tree that was near it. He disappears in the flames, and out comes this dude running. Like, I swear to God, his feet weren't touching the ground, but his feet were on fire. Like, his shoes were literally on fire, and he goes and jumps right in the fucking swimming pool. I was like, holy fuck, and everyone's like, you're an asshole, oh my god. I'm like, dude, I didn't know. I was like, I'm intoxicated, I don't give a fuck. And that was one of our moments with the pellet gun. And along with their house, if you open the front door and sit in their kitchen, you can see straight down the street. And what I like to do is I would set up in their kitchen, make a nice little firing position, open the front door, and just shoot shit down the street, like mailboxes, fucking porta potties. And then it progressed into people's windows and their houses. And I remember there was this one house, and I fucking nailed the window, shattered their side window, and out comes the chick and shit. And she's looking around, just standing there, and I had a round loaded in there. My buddy's like, are you thinking about shooting her? And I was like, no, I'm not that much of a dick. And I'm like, sitting there, had her in my sights and shit. And, stories like this remind me of why I kind of don't want to have kids. Because you know how they say your kid's always going to be 20 times worse than you were? That's what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid I'm going to have an asshole of a kid because of the shit I would do. And, look at this guy. He's like, oh, no, you didn't make it. So this is why I'm afraid of having kids. But, then we got a pellet gun. Or, not a pellet gun, an airsoft gun. And it was one of those gas blowback ones, like a Glock. And, I became synonymous with doing drive-bys with this thing. Like, I would see people at bus stops, and I would roll down the window, drive by, pop, 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 watch them all squirm and scream and shit. And then there was a downtown area to where I lived, and there was like a bunch of restaurants outside, so I'd go to the downtown area, drive by, pop, 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 shoot people while they're eating lunch and shit. And I'm really surprised I never got arrested or anything for that. I mean, honestly, that, ugh. Like, I wouldn't even think about doing something like that nowadays, but I mean, back in the day, I didn't give a single fuck, like, at all. But, that was about it, what I did with the pellet gun, or the airsoft gun. Fuck, man, it's too early today. And, so then we progressed with this pellet gun into, like, setting up cans of thrust inside of homes. Like, there were a lot of construction going around, and I remember this one, we got the can of thrust again, lit a little fire, and all they had in this house was like a bathtub, but it was everything else, all the walls were up and everything. So we sat in the bathtub, put the can of thrust not too far away from us, and fired. And I remember just like flames going through all these windows and doors, just shooting out everywhere. I mean, if you ever want to see a big ass fireball, light a fire, shoot a can of thrust. Holy shit, it is a fireball. I mean, like, this whole house, like, flames flying out of it everywhere. It was like ridiculous. House didn't burn down, thank God. I mean, I can only imagine what kind of shit I would get into if that house burned down. But definitely a crazy explosion. And then we did the same thing with porta potties, where I could shoot through the porta potties, so I would remember where I put the can of thrust and the little flame, and I would shoot through the porta potty and shoot the fucking can. And the door would just fucking bust open. There'd be flames shooting out of the door, flames shooting out of the little vent in the top. I mean, it was crazy. Then it progressed into shooting actual animals. I remember this one time we were out back shooting cans, and my buddy had power lines going behind his house. And there was a squirrel running across it parallel to us. My buddy's like, "You thinking about shooting it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'd probably hit that." He's like, "No way, it's moving too fast." And I was like, "Watch." Lined it up, gave it a little bit of a lead, and pop, nailed it. And the thing went somersaulting off the power line. I was like, holy shit, and he's laughing his ass off. He's like, dude, that thing is like an acrobatic fucking squirrel. And then we started getting a lot of buzzards around my buddy's house. So I took aim at them because I really hated these buzzards. They would shit on my car so bad, and it would piss me off so much. And there was this one huge tree next to his house in the woods, and buzzards love to sit on it. So this one time I took aim, shot this buzzard, and I swear to God I've never heard an animal make that much noise as it fell through the woods. It was just, yeah, I swear to God it hit every tree branch on the way down. It was just like crash, bang, boom, and then boom as it hit the ground. It was crazy. I'll never forget the sound it made, ever. I mean, it was insane. This huge bird just falling out of the tree like it was nothing. Then after that, around this time is when I had to drive him. He had a suspended license, so I was driving him to work every day. So I'm staying over at his house, because at this point I'd already left my job, because I was getting ready for the Marines and shit. And so I'm driving him to work every day, and his mom had this, I don't know how I didn't see that dude, but his mom had this mango tree out back, and she kept complaining about how raccoons were fucking eating her mangoes and shit. So she's like, take that damn pellet gun and fucking kill these raccoons for me. And I'm like, alright. So I fucking, one night we stay up, fucking drinking a little bit, and sure as shit we hear some noise out back. So we go out back with a flashlight, shining around, and all I see are these red eyes on the mango tree everywhere. I'm like, dude, there's a ton of raccoons in that fucking tree. So fucking walk out there, load up one, walk right up to the tree, because it was kind of a small tree. I mean, maybe about 10, 12 feet tall. So I walk up to it, and there's a raccoon just sitting there looking right at me, and I'm like standing 3 feet away from it. So I pop it in the face, the thing falls, and it falls in the last branch. It like grabs it with its front arms, and it's hanging there like trying to do a pull-up right in front of me. So I just lined it up, pop, dead. And then I look up, and there's other ones trying to scramble around, pop, one falls out, pop, one falls out. Just kept going. I mean, for 20 minutes I was shooting these raccoons. I mean, there were so many of them. And they're on the ground like twitching and squirming, and I'm like, oh fuck, they're still alive. So I'm putting them out of their misery as they're squirming around. And we ended up killing 7 raccoons in that fucking mango tree. And his mom was like so fucking happy, because like they were literally eating the fuck out of these mangoes, and she really liked them. So the next day I took him to work, and I had to take all the raccoons and throw them in the woods and shit. There's raccoons everywhere, but fucking pellet guns, man. I tell you, I was an asshole. I was such a dick with that fucking pellet gun, like no joke. And somebody saved my life there. But I really don't have much of the story. There's a lot left of this gameplay, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably cut it here. Until then, if you like Fucked Up Fridays, make sure you leave a comment saying how much you love it, how much you want to see it every week. Don't forget to give it a like, favorite, share it around. Let's get this series a little bigger. I'll bring some of my more fucked up stories. Next week, I'm going to go to a more current story. A lot of you saw me post about it maybe a month ago, and I'll explain the full story in its grass next week. I gotta make sure I get a long gameplay for it. It's gonna be a long story, but it's a pretty fucked up story. But don't forget, give it a like, share this around, give it a favorite. Alright guys, talk to you later. Peace.